friends. Happy Sunday. It's Uncle Larry. The old throat song. Froggy. Let's have a sip of coffee and see if we could clear it up a little bit. How's everybody doing out there? Just getting rolling here on a Sunday, getting ready to make our football picks. The boys and I always, choose all the games on Sunday. We have a running total of like who has the most accurate picks. I've got them all saved. Week 7, week 8. Marshall, Leo, Dad. I think Marshall's winning so far. So we had a blast last night. We had a little party over here. Jamie French, my dear friend, who's the comedian. She's got 1 million subscribers on YouTube. Jamie French, Jaime. It's a weird spelling, but what is going on with my throat? Okay, she is like amazing. She's got a great channel, hilarious, like satire comedy. I met her a while back. Her and her husband Nick. I produced a record on both of them. She came to town and I made a record on Jamie and then one on Nick, and we've become great friends. And Jamie came over last night and brought her sister and her sister's kids, and we had a big party. It was awesome. The 4 little boys, and they all hit it off. Leo and Jamie's nephew Austin really hit it off, and they were out in the hot tub, bouncing from the hot tub to the pool. Beautiful night last night. My God, the weather was like a movie set. We made martinis and had a great time. It was great. Great way to spend a Saturday night for a guy who never goes out anymore. That's me. I never go out. I don't know what I'd be looking for if I went out. You ever think about that? I knew what I was looking for in the old days when I went out. Boy, did I know. But these days it's different, I'm not led by those decisions anymore. I think most dudes out there will discover that once you stop worrying about getting laid all the time, life changes. It definitely changes, and your priorities change. I mean, there was a good 30-year period of my life, or maybe more, where all I wanted to do was find some ass. But those days are over. I don't really care about that anymore. I care about other things. Learning. I know this sounds silly. Enlightenment. I'd rather watch a documentary about something I know nothing about than go out and try to find some ass. I'm telling you right now. You'll get there too one day. I know it doesn't seem like you will, but you will. This is a sweet little guitar. Remember this thing? Mid-30s Gibson Century of Progress. This was made for the World's Fair. And it's pretty fancy. Mother of toilet seat, headstock, and fretboard. It's got some banjo inlays from the 30s. Somebody had their way with a steel wool pad on the back of this guitar, but I just think it gives it more character. I don't know why somebody would do that. Maybe we'll refinish it. Maybe we won't. That's what that looks like to me. But it's a sweet little guitar. I fell in love with this thing the minute I played it. I played it at Music City Vintage about several months back. And I put it down, didn't buy it, and that's how I knew. A couple of days later, I was still thinking about it. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna go buy that. And I'm glad I did. This is one of those rare guitars I've ever owned where the tuners actually do need to be replaced. You know how I always talk about people, I think it's silly when people change tuners on a guitar thinking that it's going to improve the tuning. That was like a myth all throughout the 70s and 80s. People would say, yeah, it needs better tuners. Friends, it's never the tuners. I've only seen a couple sets of tuners in my entire life that weren't capable of holding a guitar in tune. And here's one of them. These are great old tuners. I don't know what they are, but they're very classy, very cool, but they're shot. Ebo was able to get the pliers out and sort of cobble them together to make them somewhat reasonable, but they need to be replaced. And it's a drag because they're cool. I love these old tuners, and I hate to see them go. But they just don't hold the guitar in tune anymore. And then when you do get it, they do that thing that a bunch of old tuners do where they start rattling really bad. Like if you don't tune it up to pitch and hold it snug, it'll rattle. Watch. Watch. It's not doing it now, but it was doing it. Of course it's not doing it now. It's like when you bring your car to the mechanic and say, it's making this weird noise. Oh, great, let's take it for a test drive. And you take it out and it won't make the weird noise, and the guy's looking at you like, yeah? And you're like, no, I swear, it does that. And then as soon as you leave there, it starts doing it again. How is it possible that life always seems to work out like that? I got some VCB, very crudely written on a piece of paper. One guy I think is hilarious. Oh man, did I mention this already? God, I'm losing it. I don't know if I mentioned this or not. Sorry if I mentioned this. I was gonna mention this, and maybe I did, and maybe I didn't. There was a misprint on the Plexi Soul album, and thank you for all the kind words about that recently. Anyway, people, there's lots of sweet comments since it got posted up on all the streaming platforms. People say they've got it on constant loop and it brings them a good mood. I appreciate that. That was a really fun record to make. You can hear the joy that went into it because we really did have a blast making it. We made it very quickly. We hardly fixed anything. I don't think I overdubbed anything. It was very live. We cut it on analog tape with no bullshit. It was cut on analog, mixed on analog, and mastered on analog. Which is why it sounds as fat as it does. And but anyway, one of the songs on there was supposed to be called "The Green Glass of Home." You get it? Beer bottle, green glass. It wasn't a cover. It wasn't supposed to be a cover of the legendary country song. And it got misprinted. And of course, I didn't look at it when they sent me the test print. I never look at anything. It's got me in trouble so many times. I'm like, yeah, it's great. Just go ahead and do it. I should have looked at it closer. But it says green grass. It's supposed to be green glass. Apparently, there's a few copies of the vinyl Plexi Soul that actually have it spelled right. And I've been told that people are paying $1,000 for those. That's what I've been told because it's like a rare error card. So check yours and see if it has that. Go run and check yours now. I know even the regular copies are selling because I only made a limited number. Someone said they're on some used record platform for $500 a piece. Can you imagine? For that shit ass album? Here we go. I was just kidding about the couple with the spelled right. I just wanted to see if you'd run off and check. I was kidding, friends. Let's see. That was a joke because I used to collect baseball cards, and that was the whole thing with error cards. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, I can't even read this stuff I wrote. Oh, say, Tom, of all your Mount Rushmore of stalkers, which one is the best musician? Oh God, that's great. There's 4 guys that constantly stalk me, and I can't believe that no one has been able to make me a Mount Rushmore pencil drawing that I asked for. There's Gus Steen, as I call him, Jizz Boy, Combsy, and Deer Creek. And who's the best musician? Well, they're all just hopeless, but overall best musician, probably Jizz Boy. I hate to admit it, but he's got one lick that he can play over and over, but it's pretty fast. That's really basically all he does. But the rest of them are just hopeless. But man, it's been part of the subplot that keeps homeschooling interesting. These guys literally have devoted their entire lives, like they have literally devoted their entire existence to making videos about me. It's amazing. That's the kind of devotion I wish I could find from a woman in this life. Someone that was that devoted. That would be amazing. What else we got? Let's see. Man, I literally can't even read this. I wrote all this shit out. Hey, Tom, if you had to choose between playing just electric or just acoustic the rest of your life for your few remaining years, what would you pick? Man, that's tough. I'm assuming that would mean you could only exclusively play that and you couldn't play the other. Man, okay, let me really think about that. Probably electric. I still love playing electric. I mean, only because there's so many options. I mean, you can make an electric pretty much sound like an acoustic if you really fuck with it. But then you've got a whole world of other sounds, you know. You know how I like to play those high gain sounds all the time? You know, shred sounds. You know, I like to do all that. Higher, the more gain, the more talent kind of thing. But I would probably choose electric. Just because I love tonal shading and I love really goofing around with weird sounds and weird effects and all that stuff. I like plugging in an acoustic in. I don't like plugging in an acoustic in and trying to get an acoustic sound because no one has yet to get that right. But I do like plugging an acoustic sound in to get weird electric sounds. That's cool. But man, I have seen amazing guitar players, acoustic players, who have spent untold amounts of money to achieve greatness with a plugged-in acoustic. And I still, after all that time and money put into these elaborate pedal boards, and I still have yet to hear anything that sounds even close to a real acoustic guitar. And furthermore, I have still yet to see anybody's elaborate pedal board that sounds any better than just taking a regular Baggs, what is the pickup everybody uses, an Element or something like that, and plug it right into the console. You can spend all the money you want, and it's still gonna be that sound. What you can do to sort of soften the blow of how shitty an acoustic guitar sounds plugged in, you can put a little bit of cool Memory Man on it. You could put a little cool reverb on it. You might be able to find a kind of a cool little tube preamp that sort of takes away some of the harshness. But when you plug an acoustic guitar in to the console or to the PA, all the techniques that you need to play a real acoustic guitar with a microphone go out the window. See, when you play an acoustic guitar on a microphone and you start really banging on it hard, it can be a very cool sound. But you try doing that with any kind of guitar or pickup, and it just sounds like absolute boiled shit. I don't care what pickup it is, but if you start flogging on an acoustic guitar that's plugged in, it sounds terrible. You have to completely erase that from your playing when you play an acoustic guitar that's plugged in. The harder you play it, the worse it sounds. And conversely, if you can get used to strumming in a very chill way, on a plugged-in acoustic, it's the closest you're ever going to get to it sounding like an actual acoustic with a microphone. See, when we go back and watch these 70s performances of like Joni Mitchell and James Taylor and Cat Stevens doing amazing live performances with acoustic guitar, Stephen Stills, my buddy, you will notice that the reason they sound good is because there's no pickups on. They're using microphones. And when you take the microphone out of the equation with an acoustic guitar, you're fucked. The only time I have ever seen anyone in my entire life plug in an acoustic that I thought sounded truly amazing was one time. And it was at the City Winery in Nashville when I went to see Eric Johnson. There was a couple of songs in the middle of his set where he took a Maton acoustic through some rig that he's got, and he played a couple songs on acoustic, and it sounded incredible. And I was with Joe Glazer and Vince Gill, and I looked over at those guys, and I was like, what the fuck is that? That's the first time I've ever heard a guitar plugged in and sounded good, acoustic. And I ended up contacting the boys at Maton after that, and I said, can you please send me whatever Eric Johnson uses, the acoustic? And they did, and it's great. It sounds really good, but it doesn't sound like his because he's got some kind of crazy elaborate rig with his, some electric weird acoustic amps and whatever he's doing, it sounds fantastic. And it's also Eric Johnson. So, but man, boy, how did I get off on that rant? This would be a fun guitar to put a pickup in, actually, because every guitar is equal when you put a pickup in it. They all sound like shit. So this would be a fun guitar to bring to a gig, if you had one of those pickups on it. We're all equal when we plug in our acoustic guitars. It all sucks. So that's it for today, friends. I think that's it. Oh, the Gil Duane Eddy is sold. There was a bunch of people wanting that guitar. And I don't blame them. That's a good guitar. I still have the 60 Junior and the 58 or 57 TV Special available if anybody wants it. Those are two fine guitars, friends. I would only consider selling these because I do have my eye on something that's way overpriced that I really kind of want. But my guitar buying days are slowing down, friends. I'm telling you. The insanity of the vintage market and the overinflated prices have really turned me off, man. As a lifelong lover, proponent, buyer of acoustic or of vintage instruments, this is the first time I've ever been like, okay, guys, go ahead with your prices. I'm out. There is a correction coming, friends, and it's gonna be soon. I'm not talking about a crash. It's not gonna be a crash. Vintage guitars are always gonna be cool and collectible, but there is a correction coming. And it's going to be great for everybody because it's going to make it so we can at least afford these things again. Because we love them, and I still love them as much as I ever did, but I do not want to pay 10 grand for a refinished Jazzmaster. I'm not doing that. You can fuck off if that's what you want for your refinished Jazzmaster. You can fuck off, fuck right off. Okay, but that's it. And then once that happens, and prices of vintage guitars get back to normal, then I'll be happy. Have a great day, friends. Enjoy your Sunday. Bye.